Hey guys, it's Neil. I'm here today doing another video. This time it's not going to be a scripted video. This is just going to be like a quick vlog. What I wanted to do was I wanted to do a ranking of the Alien and Predator movies because I'm just a big fan of those films. And I know absolutely everyone does these TierMaker lists. I'm just joining the trend, but I just thought this would be like a fun quick video to do, something that's fairly low effort. And to add to that, there's just been so much Alien and Predator content, if you want to use the word content, but there's just been so much of it lately, and I just feel like now is a good time to do a list like this. And I did just see Badlands, so Predator Badlands, it is going to be on this list. So I have the tier list open on this website here. This one was created by Andres9339, so shout out to Andres9339. Thank you for making this list or getting it started for me. I added a few movies that weren't on here. I added, Killer of Killers, Alien Earth, which, yes, is a TV show, but it counts. And Predator Badlands, of course. So with that said, let's just begin. I want to start off with, obviously the first movie on here, Alien. And what is there to say about Alien that hasn't already been said? I think it is one of the greatest films ever made. It's one of the best horror movies, one of the best sci-fi movies. I know that sounds pretentious, but it's just a fact. It's just a fact. It's one of my personal favorites. I've watched this movie over and over again, and I love it so much. It's just so good. All right, so next on the list is Aliens. James Cameron's Aliens. This is another one that's super iconic. I feel like it gets referenced so much in other movies. Everyone always calls this an action movie, and yes, there is action in it. I think it's more of still like a horror, thriller, sci-fi. It's definitely more action-y than the first, but these characters are still getting their ass kicked by the xenomorphs. It is well put together. The effects are incredible. It's so good. It's another masterpiece along with Alien. Do I like Alien better? Yes, I do. But for that reason, I am still going to put Aliens as S tier. So these are two obvious ones. I mean, Alien and Aliens, of course, they're going to be S tier. Like, where else would they go? Next, we have Predator. And Predator is a good movie. I think that this is where I might lose some people, because while I think it's a very good film, I don't love it quite as much as everyone else does. I mean, it's a great concept for a movie. I think all the actors in it do a great job, but I've watched this movie maybe twice in my life, and both times I just thought, like, yeah, it was pretty good. I've never been crazy about it. I can't really explain it. I'm putting it at B for that reason. I know for a lot of people it would be A or maybe even S, but nah, I'm just putting it at B. By the way, this is like a dumb, fun video. Like, if you disagree with my picks, that is perfectly okay. That's understandable. That's kind of the whole point of these like tier lists. So go ahead and criticize me if you must. Just don't be too mean or I'll cry. Next, we have Predator 2. So Predator 2 is a movie that gets a lot of hate. And I could see at the time it came out why it would get so much hate, because it is kind of a dumber version of the first Predator movie. But with that said, I think this movie is excellent. Like, it's so much fun. It's stupid and campy in all of the right ways. To me, Predator 2, with its kind of urban, like, city setting, it reminds me more of a RoboCop movie than a Predator movie, and maybe I should hate it for that, but I don't know. This movie's just a blast. Every time I watch it, I have so much fun with it. I am putting it at A for that reason. Lots of people might be pissed off it's not below the first movie, but I just love Predator 2. I love the campier, more silly movies, and I think Predator really lends itself well to that. Up next is Alien 3, which, Alien 3, it's a movie. It's another one that's gotten a lot of hate, and I think understandably so, because of some of the choices it made with killing off certain characters. Yeah, slight spoilers, Hicks and Newt die. I think everyone knows that about this movie, and if you haven't seen it by now, You should check it out because it's actually not a bad movie. It's got some good stuff in it. I've seen this one multiple times now. I think I watched the assembly cut of it because that's what I had. But I think every time I watch this movie, I like it just a little bit less. And I think it's because a lot of the movie, it shows too much to the audience, and then it will have those characters explaining what we just saw. And I think the movie is overly long. Like, there could have been a way to kind of tighten it down and not have to dwell on these moments of just explaining what the audience already knows. But I still think Alien 3 is fun. It's got some iconic moments. You know, it's a better horror movie than Aliens, but it's still not as good as either two of those. So I'm gonna put it at C. It's not bad. You know, once upon a time, like a couple years ago, I probably would have put this at B, but I don't love it as much as I did before, but I still think it's a fun movie. I still think it's competently made. Yeah, Alien 3, more like Alien C. I'm sorry. Up next, we have Alien Resurrection, which this one is really stupid and campy, and you might think that I would like that because I love Predator 2, but the thing is, I feel like that kind of lends itself better to something like Predator than it does to Alien. This one was directed by the Amelie guy. I know it was him and like one other director that did movies like City of the Lost Children and Delicatessen, which those are both like fantastic movies. And I think for that reason, you think that Alien Resurrection should be, in theory, like a great movie too, but it's just their direction just doesn't match the tone, and I'm not a fan of this one, and I don't like a lot of the stuff with Ripley in it. I think it's stupid. I think there's some fun to be had with this movie. You know, there's definitely fun moments, but it's a D for me. I'm not a big fan of it. This is definitely the first movie on the list that I would call bad. So it seems like there was a bit of a break between these movies, because it's surprising to hear that this is all there was before we got to Alien vs. Predator. Alien vs. Predator, let me tell you, first Alien or Predator movie I watched, probably because it was the only PG-13 one at the time. Yeah, as a kid, I loved it. I rewatched it recently, kind of thinking that it would not hold up, and no, this movie is actually pretty fun. You know, like Predator 2 or Alien Resurrection, it's very campy, it's very dumb, but there's a lot of fun to be had. I think it is pretty competently directed. It's the same guy who did like the Resident Evil movies. I think it does well with its PG-13 rating. It does kind of feel like a movie that is trying to get to that R rating, and I think there is like an unrated cut of this. But, you know, as an Alien versus Predator movie, like setting my expectations pretty low, I think this is just a ton of fun. It's not great, like it's stupid, like I said, but I had a fun time watching it. I think I'd put it at C. I might even put it before Alien 3. Or, no, I'm going to leave Alien 3 for now. If I change my mind during this list, just know that might happen. So we'll see what happens. Up next, we have Alien vs. Predator Requiem, or Alien vs. Predator 2. And this movie, I hate. And I hate it for one very good reason. And that reason is I can't see shit. This movie is so dark. It is so darkly lit that you don't know what's going on half the time. And it's such a shame because I think in the trailers for this movie, the lighting was a bit brighter, and at some point someone, I don't know if they just thought the effects looked bad and they were like, we gotta darken this. But yeah, they ruined the movie in editing. Maybe this would be a D or maybe even a C if I could see what was happening, but for now, this is our first F of the list. This is just, it's not great. It's not a great movie. I don't know if I'll ever want to watch it again. Maybe I will, but I love the first Alien vs. Predator like so much more. Up next, we have Predators, which Predators is fun. It's a neat concept of like taking people and putting them on the Predator's planet. You know, the Yautja, or Yautja as Badlands called them. But it's a neat concept for a movie. I think that's about it. You know, it's got good actors in it. It's got Adrian Brody. It's got, what's his name? Topher Grace. There's like a twist where Topher Grace is the bad guy. He like turns on everyone, and I love that. He's just perfect for that role. But that aside, I remember there being just some like really bad effects. I'm not talking about the costumes. I'm talking about like the muzzle flashes. Like the muzzle flashes on the guns looked awful, and I don't even know how that happens, because that sounds like at this point in time in Hollywood that should have been an easy thing to get right. It's a good movie. I'm putting it at C. I think I'll rank. I kind of enjoy Alien vs Predator more, but Predators is decent. It's not a bad movie at all. It's a fun watch. Up next we have Prometheus, which the thing with Prometheus is I love the Ridley Scott Alien prequels, but they do have that big issue where they kind of retcon some stuff from the first Alien, and that kind of messes with all the sequels. That kind of stuff kind of bugs me in these like big franchises, but you know, it's soon to happen sooner or later. But this is fun. This, to me, Prometheus is less of an alien movie. It's more of like, what if Star Trek was a horror movie? Yes, characters make extremely stupid decisions, you know, especially considering they're supposed to be scientists. But I also think there's some fun to be had with that. Prometheus, I really like it. I think it's, you know, it's stupid, but I think there's just too much good in it. I love the character of David. I'm gonna put it at B. I don't know if I would. I think I'll leave Predator there, but part of me wants to kind of mix them up because I've watched Prometheus more than I've watched Predator, and I'm just more biased to Alien films until recently. Recently, it's kind of changed, which I'll get into. Next, we have Alien Covenant. Alien Covenant's another one that gets a... Holy shit. All right, next we have Alien Covenant. So, Alien Covenant is another one that gets a lot of hate, I think for all the same reasons that Prometheus does. It's also for a lot of the reasons Alien 3 does. Like, Prometheus builds up this sequel that just doesn't happen. Alien Covenant just throws that all away. But Alien Covenant, I love this movie because it's kind of a small-scale alien movie with big ideas. It's more fan servicey than Prometheus because they had to throw the xenomorphs in, but I don't know. I really like this one. I think it's a beautiful looking movie. I'm putting it at B, and you know what? I'm putting it above Prometheus because I do like Alien Covenant just a bit more. Yes, it has all the same problems as Prometheus, stupid characters, retconning stuff from Alien, but it's whatever. It's just a fun movie. Up next we have The Predator, which was directed by Shane Black. It was also written by, I think, Fred Decker. And that duo actually did the movie Monster Squad, which is a really fun 80s movie. So I remember when I heard about that, I was like, this movie is gonna kick ass. It is gonna be so good. Oh my god, this movie is terrible. You think I would like it because it's so campy and dumb and like in your face, but it's too much. It's to the extent of like you're watching like a Michael Bay movie or something. Although a Michael Bay Predator movie would probably be better than this. But yeah, I hated this one. There was like that, there was some subplot about like if you're autistic, the Predator can't hurt you. I remember Keegan-Michael Key was in it. He was super annoying. All I remember is just all the dumb things. I think there was like one fun sequence in it where the Predator goes like full on Jason Voorhees on a bunch of scientists. That was pretty fun. But yeah, that aside, the best thing I can say about this movie is that the poster looks great. Not this one. There's like another poster that looks even better. I'll link it here. Also, this movie is like set on Halloween. You got a Predator movie set on Halloween and it sucks? Like, how did that happen? By all means, I should love this movie, and I just do not. As far as whether or not it's worse than Alien vs. Predator 2, you know, I think it is, but I don't really care. Either one, these are both just bad movies. Who cares at that point? Up next, we have Prey, and this is another one where I felt like there was kind of a gap between movies. Not that long a gap, but Prey is the first Alien or Predator movie released after Disney bought 20th Century Fox. Prey was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who has kind of gone on to become like the face of the main director for all the Predator movies now, which actually is good because he's been making like really good movies. Prey's a really good movie too. Do I like Prey as much as Predator. I like it about the same as the original movie. Maybe even a bit more, because I kind of like the concept of taking the Predator and just putting him in like a different time period. I think that's something a lot of fans have wanted for a long time, so the fact that Dan Trachtenberg just went ahead and did that was pretty cool. Yeah, I might actually put this above the original Predator. They're about on par with each other in my opinion. Obviously the original one was an original idea at the time, so that kind of gives it some points, but if I had to choose one to watch, I think I'd rather watch Prey. Up next we have Alien, what was this called? Romulus? I don't even remember the name. Alien Romulus is so frustrating because it has so many like sparks of just clever, really good ideas. Overall, it is a fun movie, but the stuff that sucks in it just like sucks so hard that it makes it hard to say you like it. Like, yeah, I had fun watching Alien Romulus. I won't spoil it, but I especially loved just how out there the ending got. But its biggest issue is that it's very fan servicey. There's lots of callbacks to things that happen in other movies in a way that does not make any sense. The CG Ian Holmes is like the worst thing ever. Maybe it would have been better if they did an animatronic Ian Holmes, or would that have been worse? I don't know which would be more offensive. But yeah, I want to say I like this movie, but like I said, little things like that kind of detriment it. Would I put it above? I might put it above Predators. No, the fan servicey stuff's too annoying. I'm putting it at C though. That's where it's going. I think if a sequel to this can cut down on all that stuff, which, you know, Disney being Disney, I don't know if they will, but we'll see what happens. Next up is another direct-to-Hulu film. I forgot to mention Prey was direct-to-Hulu. It was supposed to be theatrical, I think, and then because of COVID and all that, it just ended up going to Hulu. But this one, I think, was always intended for Hulu. It's an animated anthology starring the Predator. Basically, it takes the concept of Prey and just goes, what if we just did a whole movie about that concept? So you got like different time periods, you got different Yautja of different shapes and sizes, all fighting like a Viking, a World War II pilot, a ninja, and a samurai. And when I first saw the trailer, I just kind of thought, whatever. Like, I didn't like the art style, but when I actually watched the movie, I loved it. And I love animated action movies, so there's some bias there, but I really enjoyed this. Like, I would have loved watching this in a theater. I think this is too good to be like a direct-to-Hulu thing. But yeah, just a lot of fun, really creative. It's kind of dumb in some parts, but that it's dumb in a fun way where it knows it is. I'm gonna put it at A because I think it's just for like direct-to-streaming movie. It's very well made. It's very entertaining. I think it's exactly what a lot of Predator fans want out of a Predator movie. Yeah, I'll put it at A. All right, now we have Alien Earth. So Alien Earth is a show that when all the critic reviews first came out, like everyone was saying that it was great. It was like the best Alien thing since the original. Or since Aliens, and all that press must have been like lying because it's really not that good. It's not bad either. This was done by, I think it's Noah Hawley. He did like the Fargo TV show and that Legion X-Men show, which I haven't watched either of those, so I don't know much about his directing style. I know one thing that I kind of hated in this was the editing, like the fading, which I'm told he does in his other shows too, but that got really annoying. But yeah, I think the best thing I can say about Alien Earth is I love the idea of being like, okay, there's other aliens. We're not gonna bother to like build up to it. We're just gonna have these other aliens exist in this world. Which, considering that, you know, Predator and Alien, I guess, take place in the same universe. Actually, there's like a whole thing where it's like people say Alien versus Predator is canon to Predator, but not canon to Alien. At this point, who cares? Continuity is fucked. But yeah, Alien Earth is it's got a lot of neat ideas, and then it just doesn't do a whole lot with it. And there's parts of it that feel like it's dragging. I remember by the end of season 1 being like, oh, are we gonna get like a nice little conclusion to everything that's been going on this season, but then it just ends on a cliffhanger. I was just kind of disappointed with it. It's not bad. Some of the costumes don't look too good, but it's also like, I guess it's a TV show, but it had a big budget. I'm putting it at C though. I think I'll put it at C, but I'll put it a bit higher up. I think there's some neat stuff in it. Maybe I'll put versus Predator here. I don't know. Ranking them in orders like that doesn't really mean anything to me. Just know it's a C. That's all that matters. It's a C. I hope season 2 is better. I don't know if it will be. There's just little things about this that annoyed me. Like, oh god, I hated all the Peter Pan, Neverland stuff. That was dumb. I don't know why they were putting kids into android bodies and acting like that was a good idea, but fuck it, you know, whatever. It's one of those shows where if you think about it too much, you'll hurt yourself. Now we're back to Badlands, which is also directed by Dan Trachtenberg. He did Killer of Killers and he did Prey. So the fact that one guy has made the past 3 Predator movies and all of them have been really good is like, wow. So the thing with Badlands is this being a PG-13, it's very toned down, and it went by the Samurai Jack logic, where it's like, we can be as violent as we want as long as we're killing robots and monsters. And I was cool with that. I actually, I was kind of worried that PG-13 would hinder this, that it would be like kind of like Alien vs. Predator, where it feels like they wanted an R and they probably got edited down to a PG-13, but Badlands felt like it was very much intended to always be a PG-13. This to me feels like a kid's movie, and that could be a bad thing, but once you learn to accept that, Badlands is a lot of fun. It's really cool seeing a Predator movie from the point of view of a Yacha and just learning their culture and, you know, all these things that we get to learn about them. Dan Trachtenberg is just great at world building. Like, his movies always give you just enough info, but they never feel like they're just cramming exposition down your throat or anything like that. I thought Elle Fanning as a cyborg was a lot of fun. This really reminded me of, above all else, it reminded me of like a Pixar film, like an early Pixar film when they would have good, just solid movies that didn't feel like they were trying too hard to get an emotion out of you. I really enjoyed this one. Part of me wants to put it at B because there is some little things about it that I did not enjoy. Just like very minor things though. For one, like I call it the puppy monkey baby, like that one Super Bowl ad. Puppy monkey baby, puppy monkey baby, puppy monkey baby. That thing was a little too Jar Jar Binksy for me, but you know, she could have been a lot worse. She wasn't that bad, and it kind of works, you know, when you consider that this is like a kid's movie. On top of that, she just plays like a big part in the movie, like she's essential to the plot. So, you know, I don't think I'm putting it at B. I think I'm gonna put Badlands at A. That might change over time because I just saw this movie, so I'm pretty excited about it. You know, at worst this would like go down to a B, but I think of Dan Trachtenberg's movies, this is my second favorite. Killer of Killers, just in its simplicity though, I just love that one a lot. So yeah, I think that is actually my ranking. I really hope that Badlands does well enough in the box office to warrant a sequel, because there's some cool kind of sequel tease towards the very end of this movie, while still being a very satisfying narrative. But yeah, I think that is it. That is my ranking of all the Alien and Predator movies. I love these movies very much. Well, I love about half of them very much. But I'm very much looking forward to see where Dan Trachtenberg takes the Predator series. For some reason, Alien I don't care as much about as I used to, and I think that's just because they haven't had like a good movie in a while, or show. Isn't it surprising that that is the only Alien or Predator show? Like, you think there'd be a cartoon or something? But yeah, those are my rankings. I feel confident enough about this, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So thank you to everyone who watched this video. If you would like to see me do more ranking videos in the future, let me know. I don't know if I will or not, but if I have idea for something I really want to talk about, maybe I will. All right, well, that is that. You take care now, y'all. Bye.